driving on Liberty Heights Avenue,
this is an iconic building.
Chances are you've noticed the Shaarei Tfiloh synagogue, which was first built in 1921 in a neighborhood that at the time was primarily Jewish. But time went on.
As Jews moved further up Park Heights, it was no longer viable as an Orthodox synagogue,
leaving the iconic synagogue mostly empty.
It is a shame that it would just sit dormant.
But Rabbi Jesse Dresden had a vision for this space, reimagining what it could be.
Given that Mundaman is now no longer a Jewish neighborhood, I couldn't envision coming into this space as a leader without it also being a place where we would think about how it would be value additive for the neighborhood.
And so 6 months ago, Third Space at Shaarei Tfiloh was born. Using Jewish traditions and wisdom, it's a place to build community, create, and learn, whether you're Jewish or not.
Some of the people who have lived here have felt shooed away from this building. And to be able to say to people, this is actually a new era.
As community relations steward at Third Space, Dr. Harriet Wims has been a big part of this new era.
We are working together really to heal our communities. And I think that will ripple out to Baltimore and to Maryland and on and on and on.
It's only been 6 months, but the impact can already be seen.
A place where music happens, art happens, people come together to be Jewish, but not necessarily in prayer. It's a Jewish space, but she wants the greater community to be a part of it.
With Rabbi Dresden and Dr. Wims leading the way.
They had this vision of really trying to be transformative and help people save the world.
And for them, saving the world starts right here in North Baltimore.
We need to recognize more than ever that just because you may call your God by a different name or not even sure where God fits in to your set of values, that we have work to do together.
What do you envision for the future of Third Space?
I think my dream is that this place, though built like a fortress, doesn't present or feel like a fortress. That when people show up here, no matter what they look like or how they identify, that they feel like they're supposed to be here, and that everyone who greets them treats them as such.
And that dream,
we're only just beginning,
is just getting started. Reporting in Baltimore, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News. A bill to make possession of a stolen gun a felony has failed to become law, but shot and killed within just a month of each other.
We'll have more on that in just a moment. But as for what's next in this case, 4 juveniles were taken into custody after an apparent assault.
It's hard to believe that it's already been a month since the Key Bridge collapse, and recovery efforts are still underway.
Wade through the water slowly.
You can see that smoke here still billowing. You can even see the firefighters there off into the distance behind those trees, down across lawns, debris scattered across yards, and power lines down. Neighbors.
When you step foot in Baltimore's Little Italy neighborhood,
We are the safest community. We want to keep it that way.
you'll notice some changes and improvements.
We never dreamt that we would have the ability to do all this, and it's almost like a gift to Baltimore because they're backed up.
In 2022, former Governor Larry Hogan and Senate President Bill Ferguson announced a series of safety grants for Little Italy.
This is a concerted effort to keep everyone safe and happy.
Giovanna Blatterman, owner of Cafe Gia, and Lisa Rignanti, president of the Little Italy Neighborhood Association, show us where the grant money went.
So this is one of the cameras here.
Little Italy now has more lights.
Nothing good happens in darkness, right? We want light.
In the heart of Little Italy here on South High Street, you can really see some of these changes with lights up for several blocks and cameras on most of the buildings.
We put 1,000 lights just on these few streets here, which is a main corridor.
Also adding fresh paint on street signs, additional cameras, valet parking, and a license plate reader on President and Pratt Streets.
We wanted to know what do the police need to make improvements, enhancements, not just to our neighborhood. Little Italy is a gateway to all these other neighborhoods.
The neighborhood association donated the plate reader to the Baltimore Police Department. In a statement that reads in part, the department says the plate reader and camera have assisted in solving crimes, locating stolen or carjacked vehicles, and curbing squeegee-related activity.
In a perfect world, I guess, you would say, hey, we don't need anything, but unfortunately, this is just, this is life. But it is always nice to have something there where we can always refer back to if an incident does happen.
Joseph Gardella, owner of Benny's, has seen the neighborhood get safer over the years and says the residents and business owners are a big part of that.
Right? We could only count on your elected officials so much. Sometimes you have to guide your community in the right direction. You have to be active. You got to keep eyes open, right? You got to do your part.
Outside his restaurant, they now offer valet parking run by Christopher Wade, also a resident of Little Italy.
They can come right in, drop their vehicle off, and it also puts, 10 or 12 other eyes that are just kind of walking through the neighborhood on a consistent basis, day in and day out.
And while these improvements are a big step in the right direction, there's always more to be done.
We advocate feet on the street, and we want people to walk our neighborhood and feel comfortable and love it. And in order to do that, there are a few things that need to be done. A few more areas with the video cameras, more lights.
They hope other neighborhoods follow in their footsteps.
We're hoping this could be something that all the neighborhoods will have.
Just one step closer to a safer city. Reporting in Baltimore, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News.
And how many of these trays are we trying to fill?
Oh, 100 or more right now
Wow.
to start the morning off.
Just to start.
You're a first-time voter. That's what they do for every one of them. Drunken crab cake. It's a 6-ounce crab cake with homemade cream of crab soup. Plenty of Shaarei in there, too. Look at it on our club level up here in the stadium.
There are reports of several people shot in the house.
Horror at a home in Howard County.
Everyone involved in this incident resided at the house except for the suspect. However, we understand that he routinely visited the home. There were no signs of forced entry.
Around 10 on Thursday night, police responded to a home on Norwood Ferry in Elk Ridge after neighbors called saying they heard gunshots.
Right around the same time, we received a 911 call from the suspect himself, indicating that he had just shot the members of his family and that he intended to take his own life.
The 61-year-old suspect shot his wife, his 25-year-old daughter, his 31-year-old son, his daughter-in-law, and then himself. Everyone was killed except for the son, who is currently in critical condition. The suspect's 3-month-old grandchild was also in the house, but unharmed.
We don't at this point know what led to the shooting. We've had no prior calls to that residence.
I've talked with several residents, and they tell me this neighborhood is usually really quiet, so they can't believe it, and they're shocked that something like this happened in their area.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shock. Definitely not anything I think anyone would be expecting, obviously. It's extremely unfortunate. It's sad. I feel horrible for the family.
Another neighbor who also wants to remain anonymous says he heard the gunshots.
And then when I hear another gunshot, I hear it again and then go out again. So just hearing that was kind of like, what's really going on?
He is still in shock.
It was kind of traumatic just to hear the gunshot.
Police are still investigating what led up to this tragedy and say they are working to help the surviving family members. The 3-month-old will be placed in the custody of a family member. Reporting in Elk Ridge, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News.